Welcome to Martial Media Review. I'm Stephen Reich, and today we will be discussing Rapid Fire. Rapid Fire is a movie that came out in 1992, was directed by Dwight H. and stars Brandon Lee as Jake Lowe. Mafia drug lord Antonio Serrano travels to Thailand to meet with his longtime associate and rival drug lord Kinman Tao. Serrano wants Tao's help and a cut of his action, but Tao refuses to help him and the two become enemies. Meanwhile, back in LA, we meet Chinese-American art student Jake Lowe. Despite his disinterest in politics due to witnessing his father's death at Tiananmen Square in China years earlier, he is lured to a party of Chinese pro-democracy activists. While at the party, Jake witnesses Serrano killing party sponsor Carl Chang, who was an associate of Tao. Serrano's men turn on Jake, but he gets away and is placed under protective custody by federal agents so he can testify against Serrano. Unfortunately, Jake is betrayed and set up by the corrupt agents protecting him, and now the only ones he can trust are Lieutenant Mace Ryan and Detective Carla Withers. But Ryan, who has been after Tao for the past 10 years, will do whatever it takes to get his man, even if it means convincing a reluctant Jake to help him and putting him in harm's way. Before Brandon Lee's untimely death during the filming of The Crow in 1993, he landed his first starring role in Rapid Fire. This was to be Brandon Lee's debut as the next big martial arts action star. I can still remember the trailers. They were marketing him as the second coming of the legendary Bruce Lee. Makes sense. I must admit, that's why I wanted to see the movie. And to my delight, Brandon Lee delivered. He is great in this movie, very charismatic with fantastic martial arts skills. All of his fight scenes are really good, and I can only imagine how much better they would have gotten if he could have made more films. In that regard, he really is just like his father. Just imagine Brandon Lee teaming up with Jason Statham, Jet Li, or even Jackie Chan. That would have been awesome. And I think he was a pretty good actor too. This would certainly have gotten even better as time went by as well. Again, just like his father. But while I think Brandon Lee was great in this movie, the movie itself isn't that great. The plot is very weak and the dialogue is hokey. I did get a kick out of one of Lieutenant Ryan's lines though.
Jake, why don't you take those fists of fury of yours outside? You're making the poor man nervous.
Nice reference to Bruce Lee's movie Fists of Fury there. But everyone in this movie is overacting. Even veteran actors like Powers Booth, who plays Mace Ryan, and Nick Mancuso, who plays Antonio Serrano, were overdoing it. Don't get me wrong, while these guys did a fair job with the material given to them, it was just a bit much for me. Especially Nick Mancuso Serrano, who was played as such a mafia boss stereotype, it was almost laughable. There are also some jarring music cues. The soundtrack is very 90s, but it's the insertion of tracks from the band Hardline that took me right out of the movie. One scene in particular, when Jake and Detective Carla Withers, played by Kate Hodge, are getting busy, they put on this music that is just so out of place. And this is paralleled with scenes of a drug raid in a laundry. It's ridiculous. Of course, it doesn't help either that their affair is completely pointless and unnecessary to the story. But when all is said and done, this movie is really a showcase for Brandon Lee's talent. The film works very well for this. All of the bad guys are pretty much there so Brandon Lee can fight them, including Kinman Tao. He also demonstrates some great stunts and acting chops. I do wish, however, they would have made his character an ex-cop or a soldier, or maybe just gave him a little backstory into how he became such a great fighter. You know, something to explain to the audience why a civilian art student like Jake would keep getting thrown into harm's way by the cops. It's like, I know we're trained police officers and all, but you're much better at this than we are, so you go and we'll cover for you. That said, with so few Brandon Lee movies available to us, this is definitely one of his best and worth checking out. I give it 3 out of 5 stars. So, have you seen Rapid Fire? If you have, what did you think of it? Be sure to let me know in the comments. And as always, if you know of a movie, book, TV show, documentary, what have you that you'd like me to discuss on the show, be sure to let me know that in the comments as well. You can find me at Likewater Productions on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.